This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Babies cry, and that's normal, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to step away. Never shake a baby. Shaking can kill, and 1 in 4 don't survive. Survivors often face permanent brain damage. Learn more and give today at nevershakemn.com.
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. Hey, by the way, did you guys know that that John Wolford, the quarterback we brought in, third, he's going to be our basically emergency quarterback, right? He was the backup when the Rams won the Super Bowl. So he wasn't like a third stringer for them. He was their straight up backup. He played a couple of games that year.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no offense to him, but again, not interested in watching him play. If McCarthy gets hurt, I want to see Brosmer sling it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, honestly, I'd never heard his name before. But
I had forgotten that he existed, too.
Yeah. So he's here. He's good. And Coach knows him well. So good. Good.
By the way, in Power Trip Survivor,
yes, sir.
Everyone took the Rams.
Oh, good. So it could be
against who?
They play the Saints. I think they're 14.5-point favorites.
Okay. Oh.
I hate that we all took the same team, but it's good. I'm gonna win.
You probably will.
I don't know. I don't know if I will or not, but I do know this. It's time for some sports.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by Builders and Remodelers.
Hey, thanks, Builders and Remodelers. The Minnesota Twins have named Derek Shelton their next manager. I think it's going to be official today, but every baseball source in the world has said that's the choice. Derek Shelton, bench coach for the Twins in 2018 and 2019. He spent the last 5+ years with the Pittsburgh Pirates as their manager. So he was temporarily under Molitor, then under Baldelli, then he was the Pirates manager for 5 years. He is the next Twins manager, and he'll be on this show a week from tomorrow. Power Trip debut and initials debut for Derek Shelton.
I've heard this term quite a bit, cool. Especially in the last 24 hours. And I have to admit, I'd never thought about it before. What in the sweet hell is a bench coach?
It's basically
explain it.
It's like an offensive coordinator. It's like an assistant head coach. It's somebody who basically runs the day-to-day for the manager.
But if that's the case, then why isn't Wes Phillips the bench coach for the Vikings?
Well, I think it's just like a different term.
Offensive coordinator for baseball.
Yes, it is.
Well, but he runs like the day-to-day stuff, probably puts together a lot of the drills and whatnot.
Like the after practice snacks and whatnot?
Yeah.
Woo.
Like what would you pick?
Snacks.
Like goldfish or orange
goldfish.
slices or Dairy
orange
Queen
slices
blizzards?
are outstanding.
So basically we don't know is what you're saying.
No, I'm telling you, does
he get to select the actual bench, like the kind of wood that they use?
Does he determine how many fingers
pine?
He rubs his forehead with to
Exactly. No?
What? No.
His fingers and wood and whatnot.
He's basically like his right-hand man.
Oh, so he's like,
that does what?
He's like
things.
Ray Donovan.
Baseball stuff.
He's a fixer.
Yeah, he puts
baseball stuff.
Yeah, if I don't have kids no more, I go to him.
No.
Paul, on behalf of the Power Trip Morning Show and its listeners, thank you for that excellent explanation.
I mean, it wasn't great, but God dang it. The second I talk, it's button bar, or you're an idiot, or stop, or you don't know what you're talking about.
I hate what happens to you at home, but we're at work right now, Black.
Yeah, come on, man. No. I moved out of that situation.
Hey. You didn't move out.
No, I got thrown out. Rightfully so. He's the first Twins manager with prior managing experience since the 70s. They've always hired people that don't have any, and whatever. It worked with Tom Kelly.
Yeah.
It worked with Ron Gardenhire. Didn't work with Paul Molitor, but still a great dude.
I like that guy.
Yeah, whatever. They weren't going to hire, the Rolls Royce of managers. Is that how you say that word? The Lamborghini of managers.
The
Ferrari of managers.
Yeah.
The Corvette.
What is he then?
What is he?
Bruce Bochy?
Yeah, what kind of vehicle is he?
Yeah,
and will
he?
you say this to his face next Friday?
No, I'm not
that he's the Toyota
him.
Tercel of managers.
No, I'm not ripping him. I'm not.
No, it sounds like it. He's not the Ferrari or the Lamborghini, though.
Yeah. Is he?
He's just a bench coach.
It's like a Ford Maverick.
Is that a real car?
Hell yeah, man! Used to be a car, now it's a
I
truck.
haven't seen the movie Maverick in a long time with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster.
It's a game changer.
I think they're playing cards and they're.
Can't be that good. Game changer. It can't be that good.
It's actually pretty good. That's a fun movie.
No way.
It's the Ferrari of movies.
It's the Ferrari of movies. It's the stagecoach of movies. The Los Angeles Lakers won at the buzzer last night.
Well, geez.
A floater down the middle of the lane. Austin Reeves at the buzzer, 28 points, including the game winner. 116-115. The Wolves had a furious comeback, but they got burnt at the buzzer. DiVincenzo right there.
What's going on, man?
Rudy right there.
Yeah,
neither one of them really got a hand in his face, and Austin nailed it. So Reeves has 28. They win. The Wolves fall to 2-3. The Lakers are 3-2. The Wolves are at Charlotte Saturday at 5.
It's 5 games in. It's over for Rudy. It's over, right, Maxo?
I think
it's over.
I think a lot of people were already predicting that Rudy might just fall off a cliff, metaphorically, this year, not literally. But yeah, it seems like he's not the same caliber of player that we're quite used to. But there's no Anthony Edwards, and it is early in the season, so it's kind of hard to completely diagnose the team. And I mean, not for nothing, Austin Reeves has been on absolute fire this last 3. I think he had 50 points a couple games ago, 40 points the game before this. And then 28 here plus the game winner. So it's always going to be tough to win without Anthony Edwards. But Julius Randle looks great. Jaden McDaniels looks like his offense has taken a step forward. We just got to get Ant back in the mix to see what this Wolves team is truly capable of.
The Minnesota Wild host the Penguins at 7:00. The Wild are struggling. They're 3-5-3. Pittsburgh's the opposite. They're on fire, 7-2-2, including 4-1-1 on the road. Sidney Crosby, 8 goals through 11 games, and he has 7 assists. A couple of Minnesota connections with the Penguins. They have former Wild defenseman Matt Dumba on the squad. Remember Matt Dumba?
Oh, yeah. Great dude.
And they also have Blake Lizotte from
Chisago.
Chisago Lakes.
Yeah.
Chisago Lakes' his very own Blake Lizotte. Grew up in Lindstrom, Minnesota.
Go Huskies.
Go Wildcats. Let's take it down a notch.
Good for
That's what they used to say to Sauce when he went into the store to buy pants. You guys!
No, you can rip me all you want. The second you're like, hey, what's a bench coach do? And I'm like, well, and then you're like, bad. You're an idiot. Stop talking.
Oh, we had questions, and you didn't seem to have the
Your
answers.
questions
I've
are
never told you to stop talking.
Why were my questions horse bleep? I asked what he did on a day-to-day
And I
basis.
tried to
and you said,
explain it.
He's the right-hand man.
And then the second I make a mistake, you throw me down on the ground. Like that old lady in the... I can't
I
get
don't
up.
think anybody's that strong.
Oh, Maxo, you're always on my side.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're my guy.
sorry.
And the I've fallen and I can't get up lady wasn't thrown to the ground. She fell. She wasn't assaulted.
Yeah, you press that life alert button once there, baby.
Paul, your hands up.
The I've fallen and I can't get up lady went hawk.
She's
famous.
He's not a predator. He doesn't take advantage of opportunities.
Hey,
Let
listen,
him
man.
answer.
One of
It's
us
not
can get
Callan
up.
Winslow Jr.
He's the one who threw it to the ground.
Kellen Winslow Jr. I forgot about that bit.
Great shout, Ben.
Oh man, that was. Is he still in prison? Is he in prison?
Oh, he should be.
I mean,
He
Is he
was like,
alive?
he was
He's breaking into
sexually
old-
assaulting.
Yeah, I mean, he should
breaking
be in
into old
prison.
ladies' homes and raping
but like,
them.
God.
yeah. Let's see if he's got to be in prison.
But
still.
like,
Hang
yeah.
on.
I didn't know he was doing all that.
me see
mentally
here.
handicapped old people.
Oh, they were?
Some of them were.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think he was as well, though, right?
I was going to say, I
wasn't-
thought you were going
yeah.
like...
He had some
Yeah.
weird stuff going on, too.
yeah.
On February 19th of 2021, he agreed and accepted a 14-year prison sentence.
Should be longer than that.
14 years.
My
I
goodness.
didn't know he was doing all that.
Yikes.
We got
Yeah,
to break
it's bad.
.com Tom and Greenard, I believe, in the next segment.
Yeah, we'll ask Tom about him.
Well, ask Tom what a bench coach is. Right after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
whole bench coach controversy.
Yeah, I think
We got that figured out. I think we're all on the same page there.
What's that again? I'm sorry. What now? What?
I think we all know what a bench coach is now.
I got it figured out now.
Yeah, I think you'd be good at it, Hawk.
Well, now we don't have to ask Tom.
You know what
we
I'd
were
say?
going to ask Tom about
I'd
it.
say, hey, bench, you sit there. Don't you move. There's a lot of A's for you to support, and we need it.
I think that's my favorite thing about this show is, let's say you're a Twins fan and you don't listen to the Power Trip Morning Show. You're like, oh man, the Twins hired Derek Shelton. Let's see what the old sports station's saying about it. And you flip on the Power Trip and you got about 19 idiots going, what's a bench coach?
Yeah.
Well,
What do they do? Get like snacks and stuff for the team?
yeah.
I think it's basically like a second opinion. They help with the day-to-day stuff that a manager
you don't have
doesn't
to
want
keep
do.
explaining. We got it. We
Maybe
got it.
Tom does
we
know. I don't know. Maybe Tom does know.
Yeah,
I bet he
Pelissero
does.
knows. He knows things.
He's smart.
Tom
knows all
Pelissero,
things.
do you have any idea what a bench coach does for a baseball team?
I've always been under the impression that the bench coach is basically a buddy of the manager who he just needs to find a title for. It's like I think every different level, whether it's, the guy you had the equipment guy on a hockey team at certain levels, or, in football, it might be, not even chief of staff. It's like the assistant to the head coach. It's something where you're finding a way to another good guy to have around. I think that's it.
So Sauce, he's like the Dwight Schrute then. He's the assistant to the assistant regional
but
manager.
likable.
Yeah,
if your
likable.
bench coach were Dwight Schrute or somebody else who was constantly causing issues, they wouldn't last long. I think the bench coach is just like a cool bro that you like having around.
Gotcha.
So making sure that the Hubba Bubba is always stashed and you've got enough sunflower seeds and all flavors for everybody.
Yeah.
I think he's just the guy who goes around patting people's asses, basically. I think that's it. That's
Just saying good game.
Yeah, good game.
Good game.
Yeah, basically, hey, let's go, buddy. Hey, let's go. That's it. I don't think there's anything else to it. I don't think being a major league manager is even that difficult. The GM hands you a card with the analytics and says, "Here's your lineup," and then you just walk around going, "Hey, how you doing? All right, great." And the bench coach is like your sidekick. He's your
Robin.
number two.
Can you imagine how fun it must have been being a manager back in the day where you put in a bunch of chew, you walk out to the mound, and you just go off your gut. Like, what do you feel? I feel like you can keep going. And you have a 10-second conversation. If the guy's like, I still got it, coach, you're like, all right, stay out there. That was your entire
That's
job.
what happened with Wentz this past weekend.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah.
Wow.
And now you got to read numbers and charts and stuff and analytics. It's not as fun anymore. It's
That's
all
why
business.
I love to see when the manager walks out there and Max Scherzer is just MFing him as he's walking out. It's like he's just like, okay, I got it. That's old school. That doesn't happen anymore. Normally it's like, well, the computer said you're coming out now.
Well, we got, again, Tom Pelissero from NFL Network. Thanks to our friends at Bell Bank. I'll get you all the info in a moment, but thank you, Bell Bank, for the Pay It Forward program and for all you listeners out there for participating in that. Tom, there's so many things to talk to you about, but of course, we know the Wentz situation. We know he had surgery. We can get your comments on your thoughts on whether he stayed in too long, if it all went correctly in your opinion. But more importantly for us as Vikings fans now, we're looking forward. JJ takes the helm. What do you expect against the Lions from JJ this week?
It's going to be really fascinating to see. He's had time to get the ankle to a place where he feels really good about the mobility, which was always a huge piece of this. And for the first time since before the opener, he's taken real first team full reps in practice. So I think that you have to set realistic expectations. If I'm the coaching staff, I just want to see, is he playing on time? Is the ball going to the right spot? There were certainly times, in the Falcons game and even early in the Bears game where it just seemed like things were a little bit frantic, maybe sped up in the pocket. And, rather than standing in and going through his reads, he's kind of getting off and seeing the rush. I just want to see a guy, who's going out there and being comfortable. I'm sure that Kevin O'Connell will have a great plan for trying to get JJ, into the rhythm of the game. You still got really good skill players around him. You're going up against the Lions defense, that's been, had some bumps along the way so far this season, but they've been playing pretty well of late. And obviously, Aiden Hutchinson just got about $250 million to keep rushing the passer. That's the first guy that you've got to stop. You got to keep Aiden Hutchinson, McCarthy's life miserable. The fact that it seems like the tackles are trending the right direction would definitely help.
All right, I do want to go back to the Carson Wentz thing, only to get your perspective, because I find I'm trying to think of the right word. I think it's silly the amount of traction and the vitriol and the anger that the football world, even Viking fans, have about the way everything was treated. Because I look at this is no different than any other player that's going out there with an injury. You're week 6 or 7 into the football season. Every single dude out there is playing with some sort of injury. Yes, it's much more front and center because you see the pain that he's in. You know that he's wearing the arm brace and the shoulder harness and all this other stuff. Baker Mayfield had this exact same injury, and he played through it years ago. And nobody was like, we got to take this guy off the field. You've got to protect this guy from himself. Are you a little surprised at all, given the state of the NFL and what it really is, that the Vikings organization and Carson Wentz has been like connected into this like conspiracy theory, so to speak?
Well, I feel like the Vikings quarterback room has been subject to nonstop conspiracy theories for about 2 years running now. So, no, that part doesn't surprise me. And neither does the reaction. If we're talking about social media and fans and media, that's what sells, is you got to have the strong take and, condemn things that you don't know about. I'd say, a couple things here, Ben. You played in the league, and you're right. I mean, guys play hurt all the time. I think that sometimes when you hear the details and you hear the medical terms for what was going on, it's like, oh my God, like how in the world? It's like guys are playing with injuries all the time that the average person wouldn't go to the grocery store and walk around with. You'd be in a rascal before you'd actually be, walking around, picking up some, stuff to make meatloaf. Like, even like yesterday when Cam Scadaboo, the details of that injury come out, and it's like, whoa, not just a dislocation, it was a fracture and a torn ligament. It's like, yeah, did you see his foot? It was at a 90-degree angle. Like, that's how that happens, is you tear stuff and you break stuff. With Carson Wentz, if you talk about in terms of the medical terms, he dislocated the shoulder, torn labrum, and fractured the socket. Well, first of all, that's what a dislocated shoulder is. It has to tear the ligament to come out, which is why when that happens, your options are a harness that holds it in place, keeps it from subluxing or dislocating again, or you have surgery and you get it fixed. And some guys play years. I mean, Dalvin Cook literally played 4 years with a torn labrum in his shoulder. There were times where it would pop out again, and then you'd see him come back with a harness, and then it was the back and forth of, well, I don't like wearing the harness. With Carson Wentz, this was a pain management issue. It was about how uncomfortable he was and how much pain he was in. But you made the point on Baker Mayfield. Yeah, it's a chip fracture. That's what it is. Baker played with it. He was in a lot of pain. He was dealing with other injuries at the time as well. But you saw the same type of a boxer in the 10th round type of thing where you kept going, how is this guy getting up? Should he be coming out? But Carson Wentz wanted to play. Start there. Carson Wentz wanted to play. It's to his non-throwing shoulder, and this is not an injury that gets worse. Yes, it is hard to watch. And every time, even when he's not getting hit, there was that ball that got tipped up in the air and he reached for it, and you could see the pain. But, the harness was holding the shoulder in. It was a matter of, how far could he push it? How much pain could he deal with? Carson also threw a touchdown in that game and celebrated, when it was not painful for him. He was able to go out there and function. The Vikings felt like he gave them the best chance to win. That's why he was on the football field. He was not making the injury worse. It was not, he's not having surgery now because they left him in. He's having surgery now because he just couldn't deal with the pain anymore. And he showed remarkable toughness to stay on the field as long as he did. This was not, from a medical perspective, from a coaching perspective, I've talked to a bunch of people within the league. This was not malpractice by anybody. This was a quarterback who wanted to be on the field. He functioned for 2.5 games with this injury. It just got to be too much, and the smart thing to do was to go and get it fixed at this time, which now means it's J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer and John Wolford on the practice squad. That's who you're rolling with, barring a trade by next Tuesday, and we'll get a taste on Sunday against the Lions of what exactly this is going to look like.
Tom, how much do you think it was he possibly knew that was the last time he'd ever play in the NFL?
Well, you never know when your opportunities are going to end, Sauce. I mean, could it be? Sure, but he wants to keep playing. He's got his 4th child on the way in a couple of days here. He wants to continue to go out there. But, in order to do that, yeah, long term, you don't want to just leave the shoulder like it is now and then be in pain next offseason. By getting it taken care of, he should, by next offseason, be ready to roll. Does his opportunity come in March? Is it in May? Is it in August? Is it in October? He's at that stage in his career and playing for as many different teams as he has where you just don't know that from year to year. This was not, a pitcher who knows that he needs Tommy John and just throwing until the UCL ruptures. This was, a guy, again, it's his non-throwing shoulder. It felt terrible, obviously, when he'd land on it, and it was getting progressively worse in terms of the pain and the discomfort. The injury was what it was. I don't think that this was, him feeling like this is, my final shot and they're going to drag me out of here. It was more so he wanted to be there for the team. He doesn't know how many opportunities he's going to get. He gave it his all. He helped them, be able to go out there and get a win against the Browns with that injury. It just, it was too much for him. And so, now we roll forward here and see exactly, what it's going to look like for the Vikings quarterback room in the future.
All right, Tom Pelissero, brought to you by our friends at Bell Bank. We love you guys at Bell Bank, so appreciate it. My question then kind of shifts into Sunday. I know that the point spread is what it is. It's rather large in NFL standards, and a lot of people are previewing this game saying the Vikings have zero shot to win this game. From your perspective, though, could you sell us a little bit of hope? Like, are there storylines along with this Vikings team that you think, hey, if they do this and they do that, they've got a good chance to walk out of Ford Field with a victory?
I would start with what we witnessed last Thursday night against the Chargers. It's a short week. Christian Darrisaw tries to give it a go, can't make it. Just, 4-day turnaround, 3 days really, with an LA flight. It just wasn't happening. Brian O'Neill, again, short week, couldn't make it. They're really playing with like their fourth and fifth offensive tackles behind a backup quarterback who's in pain every time he gets touched. I mean, that's a lot, just to begin with here. And so, I don't think that was really representative of what we saw last Thursday night of what this Vikings team can be. Andrew Van Ginkel being a full participant in practice yesterday, it would be huge to get him back for the defense. We'll see. I know he was non-committal in terms of whether he plays on Sunday, but generally when a guy goes full, as a lot of people learned from the Ravens fiasco over the weekend, if you're listed as full, that means you are taking your normal reps, which for Andrew Van Ginkel would mean starter reps on defense throughout the course of practice. Again, we'll see whether or not, he feels like he can go and the medical team feels, confident that neck is not going to be an issue. If they get him back, that would be a big deal. And in terms of the Lions, I don't know that this is a, completely unstoppable unit. They faced the Chiefs and they didn't play particularly well in any phase in that game. So there is a formula to get after these guys. They're really talented. They're one of the best coached teams in the league, led by Dan Campbell. But we've seen other teams, slow them down through the course of the season, whether that was in the opener against Green Bay or was that game that they played against Kansas City here. So, Brian Flores is going to find, unique ways to attack. You got to keep Jahmyr Gibbs from killing you, number one. That's their best player. He can hurt you in a lot of different ways in the rushing phase and the receiving phase. That Jared Goff is going to find ways to play on time, but if you can disrupt that timing, you can potentially disrupt Jared Goff. And then offensively, again, a lot of it's going to come down to how do they go about designing a game plan and supporting J.J. McCarthy? If they can get him in a rhythm early, you got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson and your backfield back. You would think now at full strength where Aaron Jones was a little bit limited last Thursday night. And then, again, the offensive line, Ryan Kelly's not going to be back. But if both tackles are able to go, that's a really big deal for this team. So I'm fascinated to see it. We all know how it went last year in Week 18. It was the game that, and I don't mean to oversimplify, but certainly it was a game that drove their decision not to go all in on Sam Darnold. They've always had a high level of faith in J.J. McCarthy, but when people now are watching what's happening in Seattle going, how could they let Sam Darnold go? Number one, they made him an offer. I mean, they did try to bring him back, just like they made a pretty comparable offer to Daniel Jones. But it's like, if you watch that Week 18 game and you watch Sam Darnold play the worst he played the entire season. I mean, the playoff game was a mess on every front. Sam Darnold was the main issue in Week 18. I mean, how many throws did he miss wide open to Justin Jefferson
5
in the end zone that could have flipped that game in the early going? It wasn't perfect, but we've seen the Vikings play this team well. Let's see if they can put it together, maybe surprise them a little bit with a quarterback that we just haven't seen play a whole lot over the 2 years he's been in the league.
Final point or two before we let Tom go, because Jonathan Greenard should be joining us here in a second.
Hey,
That's the
can I ask
plan.
him real quick before you ask your question? Is it 100 below in your house? You've got a stocking cap on. Is it windy in there?
The honest answer is I got a haircut after this. So we're getting a little long, and I couldn't find.
Finally.
Now we're
The only,
talking, brother.
Jeez, it's about
This
time.
was the only hat I had in the office, so I threw it on real quick.
Oh, my God. Oh,
All that
God.
salad.
Get a haircut.
Lucky.
Oh, jeez.
Hippie. Go ahead. Go.
20 minutes from now. 20 minutes from now, Jenna will be taking care of it here.
Oh, must be nice. It sounds like she's coming to your house. Personal assistant? Anyway.
I'll get over there.
Okay. Tom, this will be the last time we talk to you before the trade deadline, which is Tuesday. If you're a Vikings fan, what should they be watching for before Tuesday, and how much does Sunday's game impact that trade deadline on Tuesday?
One game should never impact it. I think realistically for every team in the league, there's some level of impact, particularly if you're a team like the Vikings that's 3-4 and kind of hovering around the middle and figuring out, are we trying to make a run? Or, if they lose that game and they fall to 3-5, it's like you're talking about darn near running the table to get into the playoffs. I know that Kwesi's always going to be aggressive. He's been working the phones this week. He'll continue to do that. I right now, sitting here, wouldn't hold my breath for some type of a massive swing. Obviously, depending how, JJ plays on Sunday, there will be speculation about should they go out and trade for a quarterback. There's one guy in Atlanta sitting there making a lot of money who has won a lot of games and played good football in Minnesota. I don't get any sense right now that that's realistic going and getting Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. But again, let's see. Let's see JJ, first of all, get through a game and then figure out what the plan is going to be for the rest of the season. Just speaking broadly to the league, there's a lot of teams that need edge rushers. There's a lot of teams that need corners. And certainly there are some teams that need running backs and receivers as well. I don't anticipate the Vikings being big sellers at the deadline either. But again, if something's there in terms of value that makes sense, I wouldn't rule out anything, including making a trade that might reinforce the Vikings draft capital as we move forward. But in terms of anything being imminent right now, there's nothing imminent on that trade front. A lot of this stuff, though, you'd hope is going to pick up because this has been about as slow of a month leading up to the trade deadline as we've seen in recent years.
Real quick, Jonathan Greenard, Minnesota Viking, is on the phone with us right now. Do you have any bad blood with Tom Pelissero, Jonathan? Do you have anything you need to say to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero?
Nah, man. Look, from what I've seen, he's always the one giving everybody the updates. So I'm always looking at stuff or following his name on the social media. So, shout out to him.
There you go.
How's that ankle, Jonathan? Are you good to go this week? Let's get something here.
Nah, for sure. Yeah, y'all know I'm not missing it. Come on, it's Detroit. Y'all know I ain't missing that.
There you go. All right, see, we just broke some news.
There's
Fantastic.
a scoop. Thank you, Tom. We'll talk
Thanks,
to you again
Tom.
next week, buddy. Thank you.
Yes.
Good luck with that haircut, you hippie. All right, there he goes. Tom Pelissero. Jonathan Greenard joins us weekly. He's the best. Jonathan, have you ever had a weird run-in with a media member? Ever had any bad blood, even going back to college or beyond?
Had blood, probably some weird interactions, but if anything, y'all probably seen me before, probably on socials, probably maybe getting the record straight for real, if anything. But I never had any bad encounters because, as we know, you got to have a good relationship with them in order for them to kind of keep talking good about you in a sense. So I just try to keep on a little level playing field, a surface level relationship to make sure we're all good.
Jonathan, Penei Sewell is probably the best right tackle in football. What's your scouting report on him?
Yeah, as you just said, exactly that. I mean, literally, if not the best right tackle out there. I mean, outside of Brian O'Neill over here for sure. But I think that he's a good athlete, man. Dynamic athlete, big body guy who can move his feet, get out in space. They do a good job with him. But yeah, man, it's going to be a game because obviously physicality is one thing, and I think that's what he does really good, and I think that's the next part that we got to match on Sunday.
These games with Detroit are always fun. The ones in Ford Field are always fun as well. This week, you finally get a look at your other side of the field and see Van Ginkel lining up as a full participant. How much does that help you, and how good do you feel to have him back?
Yeah, it's always great to get your brother out there, but specifically Gink, knowing what he can do for the team, and obviously what he does in the game, man. He's the game maker. I think that it adds another dynamic element to having to deal with both of us. Dallas being in there too, so now we get our three-headed monster back. So we're excited, man. I'm excited to see him back, being with the guys and see him out there in practice and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what we do on Sunday.
Was it essentially impossible to not have a ton of respect watching Carson Wentz battle last Thursday through all that pain?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we already know that Carson's going to give it 110% no matter what. I see him do that at other teams. So I knew exactly what we were getting when we signed him. So definitely much respect and shout out to Carson as he put literally everything on the line for us. So definitely that's our guy.
You ever had a moment like that where you had to fight through a ridiculous amount of pain, but you didn't come out of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every athlete or every player has done that for sure to some extent, man. I think that it's a part of the game. You're going to get nicks and bruises, and you're going to be feeling a lot of things, but just the sheer will of you wanting to win and be there for your teammates, it's hard to kind of, make a decision in that moment to, hey, do I sit out, do I do this and that? So we're all going to be playing until we literally get drug off the field.
I don't know anything about being an NFL player, even a college football player, but I do see from the outside as just a fan, the different coaching styles. When we're talking about a KO and Dan Campbell, how do you prefer to be coached? Somebody who seems to be, I'll just say like this. Dan Campbell talked about biting people's knees in his opening press conference. Is there any kind of coaching you prefer? Does it even matter to you?
It really kind of doesn't matter. I can understand where you might get it from, like, kind of having a leader of, a guy who you would say is more gritty or a different style, I guess, the way he talks or conveys the message to the media or to his players. But overall, it's about just the intention when I see on the field and practice, like how you go about your days and practice, how you trying to get your guys to kind of move with a certain mantra. And I think that with KO, I mean, he may be kind of like you would think he sound like an even killed guy, laid back, kind of quieter. Obviously still has fire to it, so we all know that. But KO's no slouch. I mean, I think that just because it's not more animated that you would see the other coaches, I think that he can kind of give you a little bit of everything. He can be the guy who can kind of just let the players do their thing and not really say much. And he also be the guy who can be in your face if he has to be that, But majority of the time he has guys on the team already that are professionals that don't really have to have that done to them for them to get them going. But I think either coaching style as well. You see that Coach Campbell has done an amazing job over there turning that work around and having those guys bought in too. So it's just a matter of it's a matter of what type of players you have on that team.
How much of your mindset changes knowing that this is a team that will go for it on fourth down with about any distance at about any point in the field?
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing. I think that's just why you got to continuously don't give up any plays at all. I mean, it's all about getting hats to the ball. Don't let them get a little extra yard where it should have been a tackle for loss or maybe a tackle for 3 yards and it turns into 7 yards, not a 3rd and 3 or 4th and 3 as opposed to 4th and 10. You know what I mean? So just little stuff like that. The leaky yardage are a big deal with them. They definitely take advantage of that, and they like their offense. They like their scheme, which how can you not, honestly? So I definitely see it as a challenge to definitely make sure that we continuously knock them back and don't let them get anything for them to get kind of that confidence to feel like they can do that.
Jonathan Greenard, Minnesota Vikings, joins the Power Trip Morning Show every week. Jonathan, we've asked you a lot about quarterbacks in the past, and specifically J.J. McCarthy, and you've said a lot of times, look, that's not my side of the field. That's not what I worry about. They do what they do. But you obviously see him in practice. This is McCarthy's team. He's going to start on Sunday. But we got a little glimpse of Max Brosmer just for a second at the end of last Thursday's game. What have you seen through, a couple of months now of getting to know Max Brosmer? What is he like in practice, and what is he capable of doing if he ever gets a shot?
Yeah, I definitely, Max is a fellow Georgia kid, just like myself. So he always gonna have a love and respect for me. But Max has been great. He's been on the scout team doing the looks for us on our side of the ball for a good bit. So I've seen it, and even I've seen it in camp, him making great throws, obviously, and being able to be decisive and things like that. Him and JJ pretty much always talking and kind of picking each other's brain. And Max is a lot mature than a lot of people understand, too. It's not like you're just a younger kid who's just clueless about anything. He's very articulate, knows the systems pretty well, can kind of grasp a lot of things. So I think just having a guy like that on the team who is supporting as well in that supporting role, to JJ, it definitely helps him out, and I can see that. He's very beneficial. So whenever he gets a chance or whatever, God forbid if he has to come in there, whatever circumstance it is, he's going to do his job. We always, preach that next man up mentality anyway. So for him to be ready and, always have that confidence, we definitely are excited to have him, as another option as well.
All right, go get that ankle healthy. Good luck against Detroit, and we'll talk to you next week, man.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Jonathan Greenard.
Yeah, and thank you to Sarah and everybody down at the Vikings, because obviously there were a lot of different difficulties this week making that happen, and they never gave up, and we ended up getting him on Thursday. So thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
And he likes Tom, which was a really nice transition. That could have been really bad.
Yeah, that could have been real weird.
I was hoping it was, to be honest. I was looking for controversy. I was hoping hey, I got a bone to pick with you, but no, not like that. Hey, I want to say thank you again to Tom Pelissero as well, and Bell Bank. And you can nominate your charity for the Pay It Forward program by going to KFAN.com, putting in the keyword Bell. This week, the entrant was Britta Maddox, and the nominated organization was Minnesota 100 Club at MN100, the number's 100, MN100club.org. The purpose of the Minnesota 100 Club is to provide financial assistance. Let me start again. The purpose of the Minnesota 100 Club is to provide financial assistance to the family members of first responders who are seriously injured or killed while defending our safety. This includes city, county, state, and federal first responders who are seriously injured or lose their lives while working within the borders of Minnesota. Now that is an important charity, mn100club.org. Thank you, Minnesota 100 Club. Thank you, Britta Maddox. And thank you, Bell Bank, for sponsoring Tom Pelissero and for the Pay It Forward program.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Now it's time for Headlines.
Brought to you by my friends at Wolf River Electric. WolfRiverElectric.com. You can still get those solar panels put on in 2025. Do it. That's what I did a year ago. WolfRiverElectric.com. Go solar.
Right.
Yeah, do that.
Solar.
Solo.
A woman is demanding $50,000 from SeaWorld because while she was riding a roller coaster, she got knocked unconscious by a...
Well, it had to be a seagull. Wait, SeaWorld?
Like a
starfish?
Small fish somebody threw.
Somebody threw a fish.
Monkey.
It's the guy from the Muppets that throws fish. You know that guy I'm talking about? That's like his whole bit is he just chucks fish. Forget that guy's name.
Gail Yarborough.
Happy birthday.
You guys were right with the bird. It was a duck. A duck hit her in the face.
The duck.
She got knocked unconscious. She's suing for $50,000. She's demanding $50K. She says SeaWorld should have warned her about the danger. You know, like when you're getting on roller coasters and every amusement park has a giant sign, beware of ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might hit you in the face.
And they all want sun chips.
Well played. Well played, Hugs, Daddy.
Thank you.
Sauce, let's see if you remember this.
Okay.
30 years ago, M&M's gave the public a choice. What do you want? Blue, purple, or pink? And blue won. The fan vote went to blue. What color, 30 years ago, did M&M's eliminate and swap out with blue?
I think I know this.
Yeah, was it, it's not red.
Chris, you think you know? Go.
I think it's brown. Am I right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're on the right path, though, because they still definitely have brown ones.
Oh, they do? Okay.
But you're close. You're close.
What's close to brown?
I have no idea.
Yellow?
They got rid of tan.
Oh, tan.
Oh.
They got rid of the tan ones and they replaced them with blue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. M&M's are great. Peanut butter M&M's are
I don't know,
outstanding.
man, what happened to me, but it might have been COVID. I'm serious. It might have been. Nothing tastes right to me anymore. Specifically candy bars and chocolate.
Strange.
That sucks.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Doesn't taste right to me
Maybe a
anymore.
good thing.
I used to love it.
Hey, you know how we talked a week or so ago when I watched that Yacht Rock doc on the flight to Europe?
Yeah.
And the guys from Toto basically said that they thought Africa was garbage and they didn't even really want it on the album.
Country?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
No, but they just didn't think the song was that good and they almost didn't want it on the album and now it's one of their biggest hits.
Yeah.
I guess Billie Eilish, same thing. Birds of a Feather, she thought was dumb and should have been cut from the album.
Wow.
It was Spotify's most streamed song of last year with 1.8 billion streams. And now it's over 3 billion and it's her closer at the concerts.
Wow.
And she thought it should be cut because she said, guys, this one is kind of stupid.
Oh.
Wow.
Almost didn't make the album. 3 billion views later or listens later. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, if you want to feel old, Sauce.
Don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
How old is Gavin Rossdale of Bush today?
Of
Bush. Think about this, man.
60.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah.
He is a 60-year-old man as of today.
Man, that
doesn't that
interview
make you feel old?
with
Yeah.
him and Billy Corgan's so good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I've never seen them, and I loved them.
You've never what?
I've never seen.
Hang on, rip the music because my headset's screwing up. What were you saying?
I've never seen Bush.
And that'll do it for the Power Trip Morning Show on a Thursday morning. Tomorrow, standard 4 for initials. Don't forget, Derek Shelton, new manager of the Twins, will be initials contestant next Friday. But tomorrow's a normal 4. That'll be super cool to meet him, meet the new Twins manager, see how that works. What are we at? We had 103, 102.5. What are we at tomorrow?
I think it's 2.5.
Either way, it's over $100,000.
Yeah,
that's the key. We'll give you the specifics tomorrow at 8:15. I assume Creasel's back tomorrow. The normal gang tomorrow, 5:30 to 9. 9 to noon is next. See you tomorrow.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You too, Abadab. It's going to be a great day. The weather don't matter. Just enjoy it no matter what. Love you. Bye.